What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Love Kanika podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Vanita.
and we are live. For some reason, I feel like we've been here for a long time. Do you feel that way?
A little bit. I mean, it's been
What, a couple
2 weeks.
weeks?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
since
it's
we
been
did
two
a,
weeks.
a live show. But anyway, welcome everybody. If you are just tuning in to our show, my name is Kanika, and that's Vanita, and we do this show on every Wednesday night at 7:30. Most times we're live, sometimes we're not.
Yes.
Tonight we are live, so we will be interacting. If you happen to click up into the chat, we'll be interacting live. But if you don't mind subscribing, if you are new, and hitting the notification bell, because sometimes we do go live on the weekends with pop-up shows. We'll be doing more of those definitely after the holidays. We're gonna let the holidays pass because
Yes.
people be gone on how, being with your family on vacation, whatever. So we're gonna
Living
try
your best
to
life.
live it as you should, as
Yes.
you should. So yeah, we're gonna try to do more shows next year, two at least a week. But hit the notification bell so you will be notified if we do decide to go live. Because sometimes we just come up with ideas and want to just jump on and talk about it.
Yes.
So how are you, V?
I'm good.
You
I'm good.
good? Yeah, me
We had a
too.
nice 2 week break. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
recouping, getting it together.
yeah. I think breaks are good sometimes, to
Yeah.
recoup, clear your mind. I don't know, for some reason, I feel like when we do our show, I look up, it be Wednesday again. I'm like, it's Wednesday again. All
Same
right.
here.
We just did the show.
Time be going by fast on us.
Oh, it be flying good. Flying. But
Okay.
but nonetheless, we're going to talk about why we believe some men have a hard time emotionally connecting to their kids, or just flat out being fathers. Why we feel like some men just don't really want to do that. And this is something Vanita and I have kind of talked about for a number of years. And me specifically, just based on what I've kind of witnessed growing up and in my 44 years, because I like to observe. And I think sometimes people be like, oh, well, you're judging us, and it's not like that. And I'm not saying all men, because I know some incredible fathers, some
Yeah.
amazing dads, and they're
Real talk.
who have primary custody, like they are the primary parent. I know several of them. So it's not all men, but I cannot deny that what I've observed, in my entire life is, particularly in our community. I will say now it's getting a whole lot better. It seems like this generation of men are making a concerted effort to click more into their children. I
I
do
agree with
notice
that.
that. I think it's a conscious decision to kind of change the narrative that men don't want to be bothered with their kids. So I would say this our generation of men are doing a much better job of really stepping up and being a part of their children's life. So let me put that out there first. But I have noticed over a lifetime, my 44 years on earth, that there a lot of men didn't or couldn't or wouldn't. I think it's a number of reasons for that. Raise their children. I mean, I remember growing up in my neighborhood. Um, it was a man in my house the entire time. I was raised by my stepfather. He's in my life the entire time. He's still in it. Not my real dad too. I have both my dads in my life to this day. If I call both of them right now, they're gonna drop whatever they doing and see what I want.
Hmm.
So, but in my neighborhood, it was just a bunch of single mothers. It wasn't a bunch of men around nowhere. It was no men around in the neighborhood. I mean, you would see men living with women, but you weren't right. You wouldn't see like no steady fathers around. That's just what I witnessed. And I kind of witnessed this, all the way growing up. So, and there's plenty of reasons for that. But I want to start off because what prompted me to want to do this show is I saw a clip by this guy named Corey Holcomb. I don't really know much about him. I don't know if he's a comedian. I don't know if he got a podcast. I don't know exactly what he does. But I saw this clip of something he said about fathers, and I thought it was very deep, to very deep. And I
It is.
told V, well, let's talk about this, if this is really true or not. So give me a second, y'all. Let me connect over here to see if I can share the screen so we can see what Corey is saying, and do we believe that this is true or not? Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me speed it up just a little bit because I think it's around the 2 mark. Let's see. Okay.
That's why I was like, why is everybody still talking about this? Because he was getting $6,700 a month. That's over $80,000 a year, right? That's
young man,
ridiculous.
that is
That's
your
crazy.
father.
He said you'll pay him $6,700 to spend a day with him.
Like he's trying to reverse the whole thing. The
That's
kid,
what he
he's
said
trying
on
to
the
make
couch.
it
He
seem.
said, I'll pay you $6,700 to spend a day with him.
I'm so glad you said that, Marcus, because I'm finna say some shit that's about to be all over the internet. I already know it. But it's the motherfucking truth. And motherfuckers can act like it ain't the truth, but this is the motherfucking truth. Give me that one more time. What did he say he'll do?
He said he'll give him $6,700 to spend a day with him.
This is the son talking to the father?
Yeah.
Like basically the public, because he's trying to put that out there on the internet. He put it out there. That's the one where he said it, yeah.
Listen to me, America, please believe me when I tell you this. This is not all men, but I would say it's about 80% of men. If we don't love your mother, we don't really love you, motherfucker.
Oh, come on now.
That sounds crazy to D.
Well, no.
To me
come
too,
on.
then.
Let me tell you something.
Not love in that sense, but have some kind of love.
No. Listen to me, Darlene. You and all the rest of the people who not used to this shit. If we don't love your mother, our love for you is hard to we love you out of obligation.
Wow.
Oh, that's how you feel like
To me, that goes for like stepkid, but not my real.
Look at D, now D rubbing it on me.
Well,
Like that. Let me tell you,
if
we don't love your mother, we don't love you like that. What we do, we try to be moral and humane to you little stray fucks that she kept.
That's so sad.
Is your mama gonna tell you about how many? Boy, you made it out that motherfucking Freddy Krueger boiler room of a womb of your mama. Your mama killed so many of your little brothers just fucking with me.
Wow.
She finally had you, and now I'm supposed to stop everything I'm doing in life for your little ass. Get the fuck out of here. Go there with your mama. When you grow up, let's try to build a friendship.
Maybe those children.
Wow.
With the game.
Woo, let me back that up just a little bit.
You need to play it one more time.
You made it up.
I need to play that one more time for the people
That's how you.
who did not understand what he just said.
If we don't love your mother, our love for you is hard to we love you out of obligation.
That's deep.
Oh, that's how you feel like.
To me, that goes for like stepkid, but not my real.
Look at D, now D rubbing it on me.
Well,
But it is a case like that. Let me tell you, if we
cases
don't
like
love your mother, we don't love you like that. What we do,
that's terrible.
we try to be moral and humane to you little stray fucks that she kept.
That's so sad.
Is your mama gonna tell you about how many? Boy, you made it out that motherfucking Freddy Krueger boiler room of a womb of your mama. Your mama killed so many of your little brothers just fucking with me. She finally had you, and now I'm supposed to stop everything I'm doing in life for your little ass. Get the fuck out of here. Go over there with your mama, and when you grow up, let's try to build a friendship.
Maybe those.
Wow. Okay.
With the dad,
I think we can stop it right here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think we can stop it right here. Wow.
That was way wow.
I know. When I first saw that, I had to listen a couple of times. I said, did he say what I think he said? So basically, he's saying that men don't love their children if they don't love the mother.
That is exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
What do you think about that, Vanita?
I don't believe that that's true.
I don't believe that that's true neither. I don't believe that that's true.
Yeah, no, that's not true. I believe that a man and a woman have to grow to love their kids. Some women, once the child comes out of the womb, you know, they have this love for them. But to me, my perception is the majority, they have to grow to love that child. Definitely the father. You can't, you love people by spending time with them.
You do.
And it's no different with kids. In order to truly cultivate any kind of connection with them, you have to spend time with them. So if you're not spending any kind of significant time with them, you may love them as a person and as a human because they quote unquote have your bloodline in them, but really love them, you have to cultivate a relationship with them to get to that point.
And that goes against everything the Matrix has taught people. A lot of people would reject that notion, particularly mothers.
Oh,
but
I'm sure.
I can say I have witnessed a couple of situations where women have told me that they were shocked that they didn't feel this overwhelming unconditional love when they first had their baby. They were shocked because society has told them, and some women did. And let me say that some women did feel a sense of overwhelming unconditional love. But to say that that's the standard and that happens every time you have a child is just not the truth.
It's not the case at all.
It's just not the truth. And for men, because they don't at least women do carry the baby inside of them.
Yes.
So it's easier.
So they cultivate a connection based off of that alone.
They do.
Because that fetus is in you for 9 months. It's growing in you. So yes, you get some kind of connectivity from that. But this unconditional love that they speak of, nah.
And you know that's not true, because if I can just tell how humans, if you just observe the desperation that most people have for relationships to get in them, particularly women, you can tell that they feel like something is missing. Because if there's a void, so grand,
you would not have this void that's in you that makes you desire being in a relationship, having connectivity with a man.
That is so true. And for men, when a child is born, this is a person. You know, they haven't bonded with this new soul, this new human. So men, I can't remember. I don't know if it was somebody on the Breakfast Club. It was either Omar Epps or it was I think it was an actor. It was a black actor. I never forget it. He was on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about fatherhood. And he was saying how men have to make a conscious decision to connect into their kids.
Yes, I do. I believe that.
And I think that's what Corey was trying to say. I mean, he went a bit overboard, you know.
He did, because it really doesn't have anything to do with the love of the mother. I don't believe that if they don't love the mother, then they don't love you. Like because pretty much he was saying that they just tolerate you.
Yeah. And because if that's the case, we know most in our community, most people aren't with their children's other parent.
Exactly.
So if that's the truth, then he would have to say the majority of men don't really love their kids. They're just doing it out of obligation. And I don't believe that.
I don't either.
What I do believe is it's harder for men to emotionally connect in, but I think that's just men in general, because men don't process emotion, you know? So it's not like men are just walking around with all these feelings and they just connecting to everybody. They don't, a lot of times men don't even connect into the woman they're married to. You know how many women say they can't get their man to open up? They can't get their man to open up because he doesn't know how to express emotion. It's so many men I personally know that have a hard time just expressing the simplest way of how they feel about something. It doesn't even have to be about me. Just about
their love emotion, because they'll express emotion when it's anger, or
Yes.
if they feel like they are having a love emotion, rejection, they'll express it out by rejecting the female. So
They're
they'll show it
comfortable with
that way. Yeah, they'll show it in those manners, but a loving and really receiving in type of emotion, they don't really deal with those too
They
well.
don't. And it's because society has taught them this way. So it's always fascinating for me that so many women haven't put this together yet, because we complain about them all the time, what they aren't doing. They don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do that. But yet we're socializing them that way from little boys, don't cry, don't talk about how you feel, man up, this and this. So when they become grown men and that's all they've been taught, we're expecting them just all of a sudden forget all of that programming and click into telling us how they feel and being vulnerable and connecting to their kids. It doesn't work like that.
No, and then they're looking for the older generation of men to teach that. But what you just spoke of has been taught down for generation after generation.
I mean,
they can't teach, the older generation can't teach the younger generation anything different because they don't know anything different.
They don't. And in order to be anything different, in order for men to evolve, to embrace that feminine, because we're both energies, feminine energy and masculine energy. A lot of times, in women too, we can be off balance. We can lean more to one or lean more to the other. And most men kind of just swim all in it, because that's what society has taught them. So when you're navigating the matrix, part of navigating the matrix is dealing with your feelings, because your feelings are it's the connection to your soul. Yeah. Your feelings will tell you what's good for you, what's right for you, what's bad for you. It'll give you a signal that I don't know about this. It's your feelings. Mm-hmm. They're connected to your soul. That's why so many men never evolve, because men only are comfortable with what is connected to their ego. Everything is about ego. Everything is about what society has programmed and told them what to be and who they are as men. The prototype or the template of what a man is, men live that all the way down to their own detriment. Do you know how many men are sitting at home or be sitting whatever, sulking about a woman or relationship or something they've said or did, went off, cheat, whatever. And the one thing that could fix it is simply saying, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But they won't do it.
Their egos won't allow them to, because that emotional side, like we were saying earlier, is uncomfortable for them. And society has taught them to suppress that part.
It has. And again, it goes to their detriment, because a lot of men suffer for simply not feeling comfortable expressing vulnerability and emotion. That's why you see, and we've seen it, there's no need for me to repeat it. That's why you see a lot of men, particularly in our community, losing their lives young or going to jail, because the only emotion that they know how to express comfortably is anger. It's anger. But when they have so much other, they're human. We all have them. Sadness and love and all these emotions, they suppress some for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Mm-hmm. And then one day, something happens and you get emotion coupled with ego, you got a recipe for disaster.
They explode.
They explode. And in order for men to grow, to not only be able to cultivate healthier relationships with women and even healthier relationships with their kids, they're going to have to decide or not. And I don't think it'll be in this generation. I don't think it'll be in this generation. I think we're going into the age of Aquarius, to where the universe is going to start forcing us to evolve and to really start burning the ego. That's the time that we're going into right now, where the universe is going to start putting us in situations where we're either we're gonna be forced to look at and deal with our egoic self, because a lot of people don't even know that they are souls. Most particularly men, they think they are their ego. They don't even know that they are souls. And your soul is your navigation to your purpose and why you're even here. So most in women too, but most definitely men, they go through their whole life on a quest of ego gratification. So while we think
money, cars,
sex,
houses,
power,
sex,
anything outside of themselves, anything that's outside of themselves is what most men go through life trying to do or achieve or whatever. And you know what's so sad about it is that so many men, God has given them such great purposes. They have such great callings on their life, but they can't even hear God's divine calling and instruction because they're blocked by the ego. And I'm going to talk about the ego probably more so than anything on this podcast, because once you can get control of your ego, once you can become aware of the ego, you can learn how to, because we need the ego because that's how we navigate the matrix. Our ego is our identity in the earth school. That's what we're doing. So we need the ego to navigate the matrix, but you have to be able to control the ego and not let the ego control you.
Exactly. Be aware when you're in it and when you're not.
Absolutely.
Like, be aware.
Absolutely. You have to,
and that takes
aware.
Practice and time and patience and meditation and so many things.
And healing and awareness and practice. And because so many people, men and women alike, are sitting on multi-million-dollar purposes. It's already there. God has already given it to you. The only thing you got to do is start walking forward, but you can't do it because you're blocked by listening to your ego. You can be getting back with the person you love, you really want to be with, that you're blocked by your ego. Your ego won't even let you pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry. So the fact that women, we believe that these men are going to connect in and be these fathers that we saw on TV, because that's where y'all getting it from, ladies. You're getting it from TV and movies. That's where you get most of your fantasies from. You get them from TV and movies, because I've been in our community all my life, and nothing that I see on TV is what I see in reality. So that's how I know you're getting it from there. Got to. And women be stuck in these fantasies and wondering, well, why isn't he acting like what they told me men should be like, or what fathers should be like? Because that's the movies and TV. That's not reality. We're dealing with men who didn't have fathers, was raised by single moms, had never seen. They're navigating the matrix based on TV or the streets or their cousins, like Vinny said, their uncles. Whoever taught them. They're navigating life through that. They're not navigating life through spirits. because no one told them to. They don't know nothing about it. And in order to do that, you got to connect to your feelings. And most men just will not be willing to do it, not in this lifetime. I'm hoping it's too uncomfortable because you got to be in a vulnerable space in order to do that. My prayer is that God rises up men who are willing to lead and to go into that space to where there are other men that trust him enough.
They can start teaching.
Yeah, that they can listen to and follow his lead.
Exactly.
That's my prayer. Because unfortunately, as we can see, you can just see in the press, a lot of young men are leaving here way too soon just based on some ego shit. Mm-hmm. That's how deadly ego is. I can't count how many times on some ego shit. And it's because men aren't aware of it. They don't know it. They think they are their ego. They don't know that they're so. No one taught them. So going back to fatherhood, thinking that men are going to connect in and be all these emotional dads y'all saw in movies and TV shows. And no, they're not going to do that. They can make a decision to do it. And some men do make a decision to connect in that way and to be those type of fathers. But he got to make a conscious decision to do it. And some men just
literally does. Yes. Yeah. And the conscious decision is not in just one situation. We're talking continuously. It's a decision that you make. Yeah.
I read so many posts or comments on YouTube where women said who were married, they were married to their children's father. So this wasn't no baby daddy type of thing, was married. And they have said once he left that marriage, once that marriage was over, he didn't see them kids a lot. I've read that so many, and the women were shocked. They were shocked. That of the change, because like V said, it has to still be a conscious decision.
Yes, you have to put in the effort. It has to be time spent. Yeah. So when you're away from somebody, is out of sight, out of mind. Like literally, that's a true statement. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say kids are no different. No,
kids are no different. And I think that's a hard pill for a lot of women to swallow. And I like to talk about these things because once we start embracing the truth of things, the truth of the matrix, not what we think it should be or how we think it should be, or it shouldn't be like that, but what really is, you can navigate this matrix easier and you'll be able to win a whole lot more. Because women, we take L's in relationships in the dating game, left and right, and we take the L's because we are too much into what it should be instead of what it is. On this podcast, we're going to deal with how things really are.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt because some of the things, it hurt me. When God started showing me the truth of stuff and knocked me out of my fantasy, it hurt me. It's going to hurt. I'm not even going to lie to you. But what I do know is the truth shall set you free. Once you know the truth of something, you can't go back. You can act like you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You can act like you don't know, but you will know deep down inside what it really, really is. The truth allows you to make better choices too. When we make too many, and I've said this, I can't say how many shows I've said this on. Women, we make too many choices in fantasy. Even motherhood, even the kids we're having by these men that don't want them, we're making in a fantasy. Let me keep it all the way 100. A lot of times women, we don't even have kids because we want to be mothers. We have kids because we want a family with that man.
That's hardly ever the case. That's the case.
We want to be connected to that man.
Yes.
In some kind of way. And particularly in our community, I think the cultural matrix of our community is a lot of women have seen that you probably won't get married. So a lot of women settle for just being connected through men by a baby. And that's a cultural matrix thing. That's a programming that's in your subconscious that you probably don't even realize is there. You'll say, no, I wanted not that. No, you wanted him. You wanted him, and I know your
And then
ego
you be
gonna hide.
mad and angry because
You do.
he's not coming through, or he's not spending no time, or better yet, he has moved on with a whole nother chick.
Yes.
As far as some of them have gotten married
Yes.
to other chicks, and then you're pissed off about it because you're looking at yourself saying, why did he choose me? But he didn't want that in the beginning. Why did you even set it up? Kids do the opposite of what y'all be thinking they're doing. You think you're gonna get closer to him, you just push him away.
Say it again.
You think you're gonna get closer to him by having a kid? It's not gonna happen. You just gonna push him away.
In the words of the great Funky Dineva, who I just love, who's on YouTube, the quickest way to lose a man is to have his baby. Let me say that again. The quickest way to end your relationship and lose your man is to have his kid.
Yeah.
It sinks it almost every time. Y'all see? Didn't y'all break up with y'all baby father when you had a kid? Didn't most of your relationships end after y'all had the child? Right? So really think long and hard. And again, it goes back to a lot of these ain't even your fault. It's subconscious programming. It's the cultural matrix. There's several matrices. And when I say matrix, I mean several layers of programming that is in your subconscious mind, and it makes you make these choices that you think you're doing what you're supposed to do, or what the culture does, or what they said, or she said, or society said, or your religion said. But a lot of times it don't even be in your best interest. You're just making unconscious choices. That's why it's also going back to the ego. That's why it's important to become aware of your programming, because you'll be making choices that are not going to serve you in the long run. And so many women have done this. Because the thing about men will run and create a whole nother life. They'll leave you and them kids, won't give a damn, but you will be stuck
with the kids. Like I just said, they'll leave you and go marry a whole nother chick.
They're not connected emotionally like that. And I know that's a hard pill for a lot of women to swallow, but look all around you. It's evident. And again, that's because they were socialized not to access emotion. So that's what they're doing. They're doing what they were programmed to do. And until that changes, until men make, because we can't make them. We can have all the podcasts and say whatever and do whatever. Until they make a conscious decision that it's something that they feel like is necessary. And I don't know what in the world could do that. Make them feel like it's necessary. I don't know. Until they decide to they want to evolve, then that's just how it's going to be. So what you need to do is look out for you, ladies. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Since you learn how to navigate the game, because you can't control men. They'll change if they want to, and maybe they might not ever want to. But what you can do is control how you react to them and how you interact with them based on who they are, not who you saw them to be in movies and TV shows. They are men who don't access emotion because they were socialized that way, are not comfortable with being vulnerable because they were socialized that way, didn't have fathers because that's just kind of how it is in our community, and I think that comes from slavery. It's been passed down.
Goes all the way back, yeah.
Then don't know what a husband typically look like, and they ain't had one in their house. They ain't never saw it. So why y'all think they got all of this going on? They gonna magically show up for you? Probably not. Now they can choose to. They can make a conscious decision.
And in men's defense, I think that they do at the beginning because it'd be fun, but then after that, they fall off. It's not fun no more, especially when you bring kids into the picture. And then again, once they start spending time with you, if they start catching them emotions, it scares the fuck out of them. So they run.
They may run from that.
Yeah,
they may run. That's why, again, and let me tell you, I'm gonna be straight up with you, ladies. You can avoid feeling a lot of ways. You just don't have the kids.
Now that is
avoid a lot of shit with men. Just don't have a kid.
Amen.
Just don't have a kid.
Period.
You know, you don't have to talk to them once, be connected to them, seeing them move on, or you don't have to do any of that.
You won't even see them no more. You'll most likely forget who the hell they are. Real talk. If you just simply don't have their kid.
And then having a child by by a man who you definitely not 100, and even in marriage, I mean, they end. So make sure you want to be a mom. So that's why I say, even the Matrix template they give y'all that y'all have bought into a family, even marriages end, and who's gonna be stuck with the kid? You. So make sure you really want to be a mom, because this Matrix shit that y'all done bought into, y'all see it ain't working. It's all around you. It's evident.
And men, be honest. Don't lie. Like in this dating world, men come and lie just to try to have sex.
Girl,
that's telling these women that you don't want kids, but you do want kids, or you may think about it if you get married to her. Like, man, stop that. Speak your truth. Speak what your truth is.
I was in Michael Bazin's on Facebook, Michael Bazin group today. Some girl posted in the group, man, why y'all always gotta lie about what you really want? Y'all be pretending like y'all want a relationship. Y'all be pretending like you want to get to know us, and then we have sex and y'all back up and y'all get you ghost us and you back up. You know what men do, whatever. And all these women, all these hundreds of women were like commenting and agreeing, and I was just like, ladies, when are y'all gonna let me keep it real with y'all? Going around trying to get men to be honest.
I just want them to be honest about the having kid part. All that other shit, okay, but can y'all at least tell the truth about having kids?
But here's the thing, though. They think that's what women want to hear in order for them to get the end result, which is sex.
That's so sad.
Men always want sex. That's always.
I mean, that is the bottom line, but it's like, God dang, the kid part. And then y'all be angry. Well, then, if that's the case, men, shut the hell up when it comes to them having a kid.
I agree.
If you can't tell the truth to her about whether or not you want kids, tell the truth, then shut the fuck up when she has them.
They know damn well they don't be wanting these kids.
Like, come on now.
And ladies, stop buying into what they say. Men, but the bottom line is they always want sex. They can like you, they can love you, they can think you're the best thing, they can think you're wifey material, all that shit y'all be concerned about. They still want to have sex with you. That's always the end goal. And the quicker you ladies accept this to be the truth and stop whining and crying and trying to get them to see and change and why do you do this and that? Focus on some shit that really matters. What is your purpose? Y'all too concerned with men and what they're doing. What are you doing? Because you didn't come here to whine and cry about what they're doing. You got a divine purpose and a divine reason to be here. And it ain't to try to get in a relationship all the goddamn time. What else is there? You came here to do something. What do you like to do, ladies? What makes you happy? What brings you joy? Outside of men. That's what most women lose. We stay too focused on men. That's all y'all think about. A relationship, what men gonna do with this? They're gonna be who they are.
Again, because they have the kids. That's a lot of it where it's coming from. So that's why we're saying stop having the kids. Because when you don't have the kids, you don't be so focused on them.
I agree. And having children has put a lot of women in a vulnerable position. Yes. In a semi-needy position.
It does.
And men take advantage of that. That's why they're able to be slick and slide like they are, is because we put ourselves in positions to where we don't have the upper hand. You don't sit in a power position. You sit in a power position. They sit in a power position. Men,
because they can dip and leave and move however they want to, even after having the kids. And women can't.
You jacked. Men run the dating game, and until women pull themselves out of this matrix of trying to desperately get into a relationship and focus on you and yours and your purpose, you're going to stay losing. And I'm going to talk about this until the day I leave this earth. Until you pull yourself out of this focused, this zooming in on men 24/7, like many of you do, and I've seen it all my life. That's all women really think about and talk about in love and relationships, because that's the way you have been socialized. That's why it's important to become aware of your programming, because it ain't serving you. Because men don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do. Don't y'all see that? Then they leave you with the kid. They're going to do what and it's not going to change no time soon. So what you can do is focus on you, your purpose, getting healthy, your money, your happiness, whatever brings you joy, everything that it's so many things in travel. It's so many things, spending time with your friends. The only love that come from a man. They don't even love themselves half the time. So why y'all think that they're going to have these overwhelming love for you come on, ladies. Y'all got to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's 2022. We got to get out of this fantasy because it's not serving you at all. Focus on you, your healing. Because once you start healing, really healing, spending time with yourself, spending time with God, God starts talking to you and showing you the parts of you that are broken and helping you fix it. And you start evolving. All this stuff y'all be worried about, crying and whining about with me, you won't even care no more. Because you'll be so focused on your purpose and what God has called you here to do. All that other stuff, it'll just be other stuff. But because most women don't know what they're here for, hadn't even thought about it, don't know how to get there, you stay laser focused on men and love. They can't love you because they can't love themselves. Look at how they treat each other. You no need to look at how they treat each other. Let me say that again. You don't need to look no further than how they treat each other. If they can't even love the people that look like them, why you think it's going to be this unconditional, all overwhelming love for you is ludicrous. But what you can do is love yourself like that. Because when you start loving yourself like that, then you'll start attracting the kind of man that you would want to love you in that way. And you want to accept nothing less. Right? But you got to heal. And healing goes into spending time with yourself and with God. Not on Facebook all day, not on Instagram all day. Sometimes you gotta take a break from social media, pull yourself out of the social media matrix, because that's another matrix in itself. It's several layers to this shit. So pull yourself out of the social media matrix sometimes. Just don't log in. Just spend time in the bath. Just talking to God or praying or reading a book. Y'all gotta become aware of all the distractions that are keeping you from the purpose God has put you on earth to fulfill. And once you know your purpose, like I said, once you get on and once you start walking in your divine purpose, all this other shit, people be, who cares? It's just some shit. I don't even care about nothing. Half the stuff women be, I'll be like, why does she even care about any of this stupid shit? Like, but I get it because I was once there. I was there. I get it. And I had to heal. God had to show me, Kanika, this ain't it, baby girl. Men ain't it. Men are not the way. They're not the way. The way is you. You are the unconditional love you're seeking. It's already in you. You're looking for it from them, but it's already in you. You just got to know it and you got to believe it. And that's where a lot of this goes back to childhood. And Vanita and I talk about this all the time.
Definitely.
No mama, no daddy, raising hood, whatever your situation may be, you got to fight through the healing that has to come through the brokenness that many of us grew up with, particularly in this community. It's causing us to make these choices, these unconscious choices, particularly as women, that are not serving us. Men cannot give you the love you are looking for. You got to get that from within. And then you attract, once you know this about yourself, you will attract a man that will love you in that way. You hustling backwards, ladies. Y'all trying to get it from them, hoping they'll give it to you. That ain't how it works. And
they can't give what they don't have.
They don't even got it. Nobody told them. They had daddies themselves. They don't have it. They're trying to figure out the matrix themselves. They're doing the best they can. They're doing the best they can. And this is a process. This is a lifelong journey. This is a marathon. This ain't no sprint, man. Healing, evolving, growing is a everyday thing. It's a choice by choice, day by day thing. You don't wake up one day and be healed. That's not how it works.
Not at all.
You don't. You have to be consciously. You have to be making a conscious choice to be a part of this journey. You have to. You. That's a decision that you can. You don't even have to make it. But what I can tell you, ladies, if you don't do this, if you don't decide to start healing yourself and trying to find out what your purpose, these men gonna keep on spinning y'all on a wheel like hamsters. You're gonna be 68 still trying to figure out why men do this, why men do. Who cares? Who cares? They can't, they don't, if we think about it, what do men really do? Besides, what do? They don't emote. They not millionaires. They let us know they're all. I mean, they be in the house, but we're doing most of the work for the month. And trust me, it's some great. Let me back up and say some great men out there who are great mates and great husbands and great fathers and all of that.
It is most definitely.
It is. But
it's just not the majority, so that's why we're having this conversation.
It's not the majority, and we're spinning on like little hamsters on a wheel, trying to get them to be what they just can't be because they're not choosing to be it for whatever their reason. You can't control what they're doing, but you can control what you're doing, and that's all I want women to see. Stop focusing on men so damn much. Stop focusing on them so much. They don't even want it. They like, leave us the fuck alone. They don't even want it. They're like, we don't want to be in no relationship. We don't want it. They show you, they tell you, they begging you. They're begging you to leave them the fuck alone. They don't want to save you. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. So now what are you going to do? Focus on yourself. Focus on all the parts of you that you can fix, because it's a lot of them. And I'm telling you from experience, I had a lot of shit that I needed to deal with instead of trying to focus on being with some nigga. A lot of shit. And you can too. So this podcast is going to be about us and healing. Healing and evolving and healing and evolving and growing. Not men, because they're not here to save us. They can't even save themselves. It's up to you to save you, not them. So stop being mad that they're not doing what you want them to do. You can't control them. Even being fathers, you can't make a man you can't make them. Y'all know this. Y'all seen it all your life. You in the same community I am in. Stop worrying about stuff you can't control. Do the best you can do. And ask God for help and guidance. That's all you can do.
That's true.
That's all you can do. Yeah, this laser focus on me, it's just not serving us, ladies. It hadn't. They're not gonna change. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of begging and crying and why. It's a waste. That's how I can coexist with men, because I don't expect them to be nothing but who they are. I expect a snake to be a snake, a tiger to be a tiger, a cheetah to be a cheetah, a bear to be a bear. I don't try to make no panda be no cow. It's a panda. It's a panda. It is what it is. That's where that saying comes from. It is what it is. It is what it is. Men want sex. It is what it is. Now, how are you going to navigate that? Now that you know the truth of the matter, how are you going to navigate that? That's how you play this game. Not begging and pleading from them to be a snake when they're a tiger. That ain't how it works. They can't be no tiger. They're a snake. It is what it is. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow. It was hard for me when God started showing me this. It's a hard pill because we want to be in the fantasy. We want to be Cinderella and Snow White. I get it. It ain't gonna happen though. that you can be the best you God called you to be. You can't do that. You can do that now. That you got control over. So back to the topic. If you make a decision to have a child, you have no control over what the father of that child decides to do. Hopefully he makes a conscious decision to check in and connect in, like we will all want our children's fathers to do. But just be aware, it's out of your control.
Please be mindful.
That's the thing about becoming a parent. It's out of your control. Goes back to what I said about making conscious decisions in the Matrix.
Yes.
Don't make a decision based because society said that's what you should do. Think long and hard about all the consequences and all the scenarios that could happen if you choose to make this decision.
Yes.
Could be a lot of them. Are you good with it? Are you good if he don't check in? Are you good if he decides to walk off? Are you good if God takes him off the earth? Because that happens too.
Yes, it does. It's not always them stepping out. Sometimes it's way beyond that.
Way beyond. God might call him home. Are you good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, we got to start thinking more of in the reality and get out of our fantasy and our what we think things should be like, and start making real decisions and thinking them through. Really thinking them through, particularly ones that are life-changing like that. Because we can't control men, man. We can't control them.
It's a big one.
Yeah, we can't control nothing they do. So just stop trying. Just navigate the best you can based on what you know. It's a snake. Don't put it in your bed and sleep with it. It's a snake. You gotta look at things for what it is. Would you put a snake in your bed and sleep with it? It may bite you, it may not. But do you want to take? You got to think about that. Are you willing to take the risk? If you're willing to take the risk, then hey, go ahead. You got to be okay with the consequences, though. Always think about the consequences of the choices you make beforehand. I try my best every time.
Please,
all right, Kanika, you done had them to my tires. You sure you want to drive over there? I think about shit like that. Do you get pulled over and you get a DUI? Are you going to be okay with the consequences? I think about all that.
Ask yourself.
Kanika, you sure you want to make that left turn? You know that light is red. You see it's red. What if the police, you don't see? What if? I think about all
the
that.
Police, we talking, what if you get hit?
All that. I try to jump ahead and think about the consequences. Am I going to be good with decisions that I make? So ladies, we got to start thinking ahead so that we can start cultivating the life we want to see show up in the Matrix. Not just not being like reactive. We're very reactive. We need to be proactive.
Proactive. Definitely when it comes to having kids.
Co-create your life proactively, not reactively.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that by becoming aware of your thought processes and where they came from. Because most of them didn't come from you. They came from society. It's what society said you should do, think, be, or feel. Not what you think or feel. What matters is what you think or feel, not what society says.
Yep.
That's what this podcast is going to be about. Programming your mind so you can create the life you want to see. Because it's all about the mind. Everything we see in reality started in somebody's mind. That's how powerful the mind is. Everything. This video, y'all looking at me on. Somebody thought about it. Somebody thought it up.
Yeah.
And now it's in reality. It has become manifest. That's why your thoughts are so important. They become manifest. Gotta get control of your mind, man. And flush out all the thoughts and all the programs that the Matrix has put in your mind, your parents, your religion, your culture, your race, that's not serving you. Because at the end of the day, you got to live that life.
That's true.
You got to live that life. So you got to be good with the life you're creating. Are you good with it? So going back to the subject, relationships, got to spend time. Kids ain't no different. Some people, kids, they come out love them to death. Others,
They
like
can be
Vanita said
sweet
at the beginning
souls,
of
or
it,
they can be different souls. It
yeah,
just depends.
you can have a child come out and be a little devil.
Yeah,
Be
you
a little
literally
devil.
can. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're people, man. Children are people. They're souls who
Mhm.
came here for a purpose too. They might be your kids, but they're people.
Exactly.
Saying this, that don't believe that just because they told you it should be a certain way, that it's always going to be that way. It's not the truth. It may be that way. It may not be that way. Don't always believe the hype of the Matrix. Right. That's all we saying.
That's it.
Yeah. The Matrix is about money. So
That's it. I was about to say they about money, period, point blank. So however they gonna get it is what they're going to deliver out to the world to get it.
Whatever society need to tell you so they can make some money, they're gonna tell you. Don't give a shit about your life and how you feel, and they don't care about none of that.
None of that.
Get this money to get this money.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's at your expense, so be it. That's why you need to be aware of what's really going on.
Yes.
That's all we saying. Particularly ladies, because y'all women, we stay losing. We stay losing.
Well, y'all procreate the world too, so keep that in mind. You the ones who keep birthing out the kids. Nobody put a gun in your head to birth them. Nobody. You're making the choice. I don't care if he did come and say, "Oh, I want a kid." At the end of the day, you have the last say.
I'm gonna do a whole show. We gotta stop having these kids doing this birthing by any means, under any circumstances. It don't matter. Wait, it ain't serving us, man. It ain't serving us. It ain't serving the child. Cause he's not
serving society as a whole. Y'all yell and scream about our community so much. We got to do better. We got to uplift all this stuff, but you're not doing anything to get there.
And we can start by just not having children all willy-nilly.
That way.
And this is for women in our community. We got to stop being breeding farms. You can birth more than children.
That way.
You can birth a purpose. You can birth a book. You can birth an idea.
Yes. The legacies that y'all be speaking of, it don't have to be a human being.
It doesn't. Stop having kids just because you want to be connected to a man. You want to be connected to him. He don't want it he don't like it. He don't want it. None of them. They don't want it. They want to be free. They don't want it. That's the truth. Don't they? Didn't they leave? They don't want it. And a lot of you do it because that's all you know. You think men are the answer to happiness. And I thought that too. So we're going to talk about that on another day. God came and snatched my ass right on up out that thought process. God said, "Oh, no, ma'am, you will not. I will make sure you don't." And it was ugly. Okay? So I'm going to let me be a testimony to what you don't have to. You can skip all the pain and heartache that I went through. You skip it all. As
you can, or you can choose to be in it. Just don't have no kids. Jesus Christ. Just don't have no kids. Your pain will end sooner if you just don't have the kids.
I'm telling you, man. That's a heavy decision, particularly because most Black women are going to have to do it alone.
Yes.
That's why it's so heavy for Black women. If you do it, you're pretty much on your own. We know that. Or you're going to be co-parenting whenever he decides.
And even in co-parenting, I'll tell you from experience, most of the burden is still on you. It's still on you.
A heavy decision, man. It is. And I've said this on other shows. I can tell the difference in my friends without kids. My friends without kids versus my friends with kids. It's a difference in the energy, man.
It is.
It's a difference in the energy. My friends without kids are free, traveling the world, happy all the time, smiling, don't give a shit about men, da 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 da. And my friends with kids, they in relationships with men, do living with them and below them, and they just want something outside of motherhood. I get it.
That way.
They're just taking what they feel like they can get. It's a difference, man. It's a difference. And a lot of that has to do with the children, whether they want to believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It does. So just be careful. Make the decision. And it's not all women. There are some women with, children who have great men. I know, a couple of women with great men, who have children. So it's not all women. But just know you're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice for sure.
Again, like we said earlier, it's not the majority. So that's why we're saying this.
Yeah. It's not the majority. It's not the majority. You probably will crap out more than you will get an 11.
Win. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like playing Russian roulette.
Yeah, it's like playing Russian roulette. It is. And we're saying this because we want to start making better choices so we can be happy. We're not here long. I mean, if you're my age, you're halfway through this thing, if God allow it. Don't you want to be happy at some point?
Maybe a little bit over half at this point.
Yeah, don't you want to be happy at some point in your life? Let's start creating that now.
Yeah.
You gotta start creating now what you want to see show up in the future. And that comes with choices, conscious choices. Proactive, not reactive, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you this because I myself have had to live it. I had to go through a lot of pain and heartache. I cried a lot of damn tears. I went through a spiritual boot camp so that I can sit here and tell you what not to do. So I went through it. It was God's divine purpose for my life. I didn't know it at the time that I know it now, right?
And so again, if you choose to, just don't have the kids. You can shorten all this if you just choose not to have kids.
I know. This ain't really the community to do it.
And if you do choose to have kids, because some women feel like they want to have kids, period. If you do, just don't be relying on him so much. Because all you're going to do is put extra bricks on your shoulders that don't need to be there.
Nah, man. He's not going to be the one. He's not going to be the daddy you saw on TV more than likely. Or in the movies.
It's just not.
He's just not going to be like that now. That's the TV. That's another... The media is programming. It's subconscious programming. That's why women be so frustrated with men. Because the TV said they should act like this or be this. Or even another culture. You look at another culture and say, well, their culture of men, they act like this. Why don't y'all act like this? It ain't the same men. It ain't the same circumstances. It ain't the same upbringing. It ain't the same anything. Everything is different about it. So you got to move accordingly, or got to move accordingly. You got to make choices according to what is, not what it should be. That's all we're saying. That way, so that you can win and be happy. And we, as Black women, we're going against a lot. We up against some shit. We up against some shit. Okay. Not only are we a minority of race, we're a minority of just being women. We a double minority within the matrix. Got to fight through all that. Our men don't have the financial backing and the power that other cultures do.
That's the thing. So when you bring kids, don't look for the ends from them like that.
I'm trying to tell you, he was broke when you got pregnant, girl. He was broke then. Because
even if you go and put him on child support, listen, they are finding ways around that as well. So then what?
Exactly. What are you gonna do?
Then what?
The baby still gotta eat.
Yes. What are you gonna do?
You gotta stop having these kids all willy-nilly. It ain't serving us. It ain't serving the kid or the community. None of that. There's too many birth control methods out there. You don't have to get pregnant.
Yes.
It's too many. It's too many. It's way too many. Mm-hmm. We don't have to get pregnant now. You can, enjoy yourself, whatever you want to do. You grown, but you don't have to create a human. You don't have to do that
way.
Yeah, it probably won't fare well for you. But with that being said, you have any closing Nice, Vanita.
Nah, just be mindful of your choices, like Kanika has said several times. Be
Yeah, and I'm not.
mindful. Be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, be proactive. Be in we gotta heal too, because a lot of our decisions just come from void and brokenness and low self-esteem. It's a huge low self-esteem issue in the female Black community. It's a huge,
And the whole
huge.
community as a whole, not just females,
Woo! The
as a
low
whole
self-worth permeates this community.
community, big time.
It just does. The not feeling good enough is deep. It's deep, and it's generational.
It is.
But we can heal it. We can get on the road to knowing that we're good enough and
Yeah.
seeing ourselves the way that God sees us. And that's what God wants for us. It's for us to see ourselves the way that God sees us. That's the whole thing of loving yourself. That's what that means.
And loving yourself is not about a look, y'all.
It ain't.
Not about a look.
And then it's not external, it's internal.
Yes.
It's internal. Then you can do all the enhancements or whatever you want to do, that's fine. But that the loving yourself is an internal thing.
Yes. It's your
It's an internal
insides.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself. It's an inside thing. And we'll talk about that in future episodes because I want to talk a lot about that. And
Yeah.
me and not low self-worth. And how I had to heal that and to become the woman that I've
Same
become
here.
and the woman that I will be,
Exactly.
in the coming years. It's always healing and growing and evolving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a marathon, it ain't a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you as usual. Again, if you're new, please subscribe.
Yes.
We'll be having conversations like this all the time. Also hit the notification bell. We will be back. It probably won't be. I'm not quite sure. We've been invited to be guests on another show
Yes.
next week, so we'll see how that plays out. We might be live, but nonetheless, you will get a show on next Wednesday, 7:30.
Mhm.
Same place, same time. When I get more details on the show we'll be a guest on, I'll definitely let you know because I know they do a live show. We're trying to figure out the logistics of it all, but I will let you know. But until then, you guys have a good night, and we will thank you again as always,
Yes.
and we'll see you next week. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Good night.